Hello, hello. Yes, it's me back again, Sandi Ballard, your host of the Monday Motivation Podcast, the weekly podcast, No More Excuses. Thank you for listening. Thanks for coming back. And yes, thank you for sharing these podcasts. It's exciting. Like I said, it's exciting to hear or see, I guess, where people are listening. So I really appreciate you doing that and helping others help themselves. So, if you're not connected with me, if this is your first time listening, please do. Depending on where you're listening, all the icons are there. But LinkedIn is always good. My business Facebook page, Growing Forward Success Coaching, Twitter, SLBallard13, and on the Instagram, a work in progress, Taskmaster Sandi. So, or search for me, Sandi with an I. Make sure you look for that. So, anyway, the last few weeks have been about do it, and then pause, reset, reflect, strategize. Yeah, it's like go and then stop, right? It's a game of Simon Says. So have you? Have you taken the time to reset personally? Have you taken the time and reflected and strategized professionally? Did you email me? sballard@growingforward.biz. That's S as in Sandi. Ballard at growingforward.biz. Or did you post it? If you haven't, go back to, maybe 80, 81, podcast 80, 81. And then listen to this one. But recently I started working with a company. It's probably been 2 or 3 months ago. And, meeting with them monthly, meeting with the managers. We've done a staff survey, asking some really big questions. A lot of things came up. A lot of things came to the surface. And one big one was they've just been on the kind of the hamster wheel going along, wash, rinse, repeat cycle for years. And I'm getting them to stop and think big, and make adjustments. And they don't necessarily want to grow, but they want to continue to build, if that makes sense. They don't want to be the biggest, they want to be the best. So knowing what you want to be known for is huge, and I've talked about that in some podcasts. It's, taking the time to think is key. So that's what the last couple podcasts have been about. Are you just on the hamster wheel or the crazy train or both? And, thinking about the past, the present, and the future is important. With the past, look, but don't stare. You can't go back, right? As great as the 80s were, you can't go back. So look, but don't stare. The present, embrace what's going on around you. And the future, where the hell do you want to go? And unless you stop and think about those things and strategize and look around, how do you know what is actually happening or has happened? So it should be, eye-opening when you do the really taking the time to pause and reset and strategize. It can be scary, and it's not always what you want to see. You got to face the truth, right? Things change, life happens, shit happens. So what are you going to do about it? And how will or have you reacted? Most people don't do this. It's easier to stay status quo than to face the facts, face the truth. Truth hurts, right? Admitting something is wrong. Most people don't want to do that. Admitting their way didn't work, or the idea wasn't good, or didn't pan out. It's hard. And when my clients don't respond, when I'm emailing, texting, calling, trying to check in on them, it usually means that they're hiding something or avoiding, didn't do something, don't feel good about something. So sometimes, like the client I mentioned in the last podcast, he was being hard on himself, and that happens. But it's, you've got to take a look, and until he stopped, and we did the strategy session, and I showed him all that he's done so far. Yeah, it might not have been where he wanted to be, but my God, he's not been in business that long. So usually women are harder on themselves because they think they can do it all. They should be able to do it all, right? And men just expect it to happen overnight. So when you're doing your time of self-reflection and strategy for your business or career, think about that as well. Think about your expectations and be real. It's hard to admit, when you don't and just maybe something didn't work or pan out. And it can just eat away at you and create more anxiety, frustration, shut down. And, so with this client I'm working with, the one I just started working with, it's a team. So it's not just one person. I'm getting them to realize there's so much that they haven't talked about or done in years. Again, they've been on the hamster wheel. Everyone's just doing their thing, but it's caused a lot of things to just be buried. And it's hard when they're there, because there are some tough conversations happening now, and they're facing a lot of facts, a lot of truths about themselves and their business and the future of it all. And that's, my listeners, is the point of pausing, taking the time to really reset, not just take the vacation or do what you think you're supposed to do, just going through the motions. You've got to take the time to pause, step off the crazy train, step off the hamster wheel, especially the hamster wheel, and do a solo strategy session before you meet with your team. And think about it, again, personally as well. So facing the facts is hard. Admitting things aren't perfect sucks, and it can paralyze you. But isn't regret worse? The I wish I would have world? Wouldn't you rather be in, yes, happy land? If you're new to listening to me, you got to go back and find happy land in the conversation. But what is your happy land? Wouldn't you rather be there than live in that world of I wish I would have? But how do you get there? You've got to face the facts, face the truth, admit, make adjustments, ask for help. Oh yeah, I just had a client who I challenged asking for help. And it worked. It was really cool. It was really neat to actually see or hear, I guess, from her. We texted to hear what she asked for, and then it came, the help she asked for worked, and it helped her move forward. So this week, what I want to know, what you're going to email me about or post here, is what you've been hiding from, avoiding. What is it that you're afraid to admit? So why haven't you done the strategy session or the self-reflection? I did it a couple of years ago. It's what's in my first book, From There to Here. Let's go. Okay? So what have you been hiding from, avoiding? What is it that you're afraid to admit? Email me, sballard@growingforward.biz. Post it here if you have the balls to do so. And, if you don't know and not sure how to say what you've been avoiding or admit, let's do a strategy session. Let's get you out of the past, into the present, and set up for the future. Okay? Have a great week. I'll see you back here next week, but watch the social media outlets for posts on this subject. Have a great week again. Cheers.